Hello, Jim. Thanks for taking time to participate in our series, Out of Adversity Comes the Hybrid Opportunity. We're exploring DECT technology's unique ability to deliver solutions for teamwork and collaboration, and how products using DECT have played their part in responding to the pandemic. Then we're looking towards the post-COVID future, but perhaps you can kick off by telling us who you are and what you do at Shure.
Sure thing. Thank you, Vince, for having me. My name is Jim Shantz. I'm with Shure Incorporated. I've been here for over 20 years. I'm Vice President of Global Sales for Integrated Systems.
Okay. And as far as Shure is concerned, what are some of the trends that you're seeing as workers come back to work? And what lessons do you think have been learned during the pandemic related to meetings and collaboration?
Well, I think during the pandemic, everyone got used to working from home. And what we've seen as workers come back to the offices, many of them are choosing not to come back to the office. They're choosing instead to work from home or do some sort of a hybrid approach where a few days a week they're at home, a few days a week they're in the office. So I think what we've seen is that companies, higher educational institutions, for example, they need to adapt to newer ways of allowing their employees or students to work or to study and to be more flexible. And so this has been a huge change. I think some of the companies that maybe weren't prepared for a large amount of their employees working from home, they quickly had to learn that it's okay to have remote associates. Many folks had to understand that software codecs are a viable and secure method for communicating. And I think we all learned how to use Zoom and so forth. So that's been probably one of the biggest things. Since coming back, we've had, as mentioned, the hybrid conferencing and higher education, but in addition, hybrid conferences. So in the past conferences, we gather a lot of people together, all in a pretty small space, perhaps. Today, we're trying to social distance a little more, and we have remote participants as well as in-person participants. So we've really seen a growth in the equipment and the audiovisual equipment needed. And fortunately, we've also really seen the importance of audio throughout this entire pandemic and what we're seeing now coming out of the pandemic. Audio remains, thankfully, the most important part of a collaboration, communication, and conferencing.
And do you think that different industries are returning in different manners?
I think we're seeing a difference in maybe not necessarily the industries, but difference in adoption for remote work environment for those companies that were already participating in updating their conference rooms, for example, or being a little bit more flexible with allowing their associates to work from home. Those companies that didn't invest in the technology quickly had to invest in the technology during the beginning of the pandemic. And I think they've been playing catch up ever since. So, maybe, I guess to summarize some of the more traditional old school type enterprise or municipality or higher educational facility, they've really had to quickly invest since that time.
And what about some of the product and technical trends you've seen so far?
Well, as I'm talking to you, obviously, wireless microphone systems continue to become very, very important to customers who want a quick setup, a quick teardown of their meetings or conferences. And obviously, DECT technology plays a very important part of that in the ease of use, ease of setup. It just works. But we're also seeing that there's a need to anticipate the needs of the company. The leaders of our companies should understand the needs of the company and the customers, and to listen to frontline staff about how our business conditions continue to evolve globally. So that's a long way of saying the technology has certainly improved, and I think the ease of use and the high quality of audio has remained, again, to be paramount in what we're seeing moving forward.
Okay. Would you say that there are types of roles within most companies that are more appropriate or more easily adapt to working from home or in the office?
Yeah, I think those those positions, those jobs where you need to really sit down and think and be left alone and to focus on your work, maybe be creative that way. I think those types of roles are more suitable for at home. I think the more creative types who need to work together and collaborate, and maybe you miss the in-person creativity and writing on the wall and working together. You miss that. So I guess to summarize, the more fun people are going back to the office, and the more engineering types seem to be at home. But that's kind of a joke.
Right, okay. And let's look forward a little bit then. What do you think the next year or 2 years has in store for the AV conferencing industry, and how does DECT technology fit into this future?
I think that, again, enterprises, higher education, municipalities, government institutions, they've quickly learned to understand the importance of high-quality audio. Again, thankfully. They've also been a part of, maybe they've been frustrated in the past by how quickly they can get a system up and running or get a conference up and running. So I think looking into the future, you're going to see a great improvement in ease of use, ease of install for rental applications, for conferences, for example, ease of setting up and tearing down, automatic frequency shifting and so forth for some of the wireless. I think that the winning technologies are going to be those that are absolutely easier to use and easier to install, et cetera, and of course, provide high quality audio moving forward.
Okay, well, that's been fascinating. I really appreciate again your time, Jim. I wish you a good rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.